Hi RE buddies, Hassan here from RE Exam Buddy, and in today's video I am going to share a beginner's guide to the RE5 exam in South Africa. So if you're new to the industry or you've just recently heard about the exam, this is the video for you. I'm going to be sharing what the exam is about, why it's important, what type of questions the exam has, and also share some final tips to help you prepare for the exam. So enjoy. The agenda for this video. We'll start off with the background and importance of the RE5 exam. We'll then continue on to chat about the exam format, preparation tips, what you can expect on exam day, common mistakes and how to avoid them, post-exam and results, and I'll end off the video with some final tips. Background and importance of the regulatory exams. The RE5 exams were introduced by the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, or FSCA for short, to ensure that financial professionals have the legal knowledge necessary to protect clients and maintain ethical standards. This all comes from the Financial Advisory and Intermediary Services Act, or FASE for short, which governs the behavior of the financial service providers in South Africa. But why are these exams so important? Well, imagine you're helping a client make a major financial decision, whether it's for retirement, investments, or insurance. These exams test your ability to guide that client within the boundaries of the law, ensuring they receive fair treatment and that you uphold your legal responsibility. RE5 is for representatives, who are those who interact directly with clients and offer advice. The RE5 exam is designed to test your understanding of legal frameworks, codes of conduct, and how to apply these in real world scenarios. So, passing them isn't just about memorizing facts, it's about understanding how to implement these rules in your day to day work. Format of the exams. Let's talk exam format. The RE5 is a closed book, multiple choice exam, so you don't have access to any notes or reference materials during the exam. Each question will have 4 possible answers, but don't worry, there's no negative marking. You'll either get the question right or wrong, with no penalty for incorrect answers. Here's what the exam looks like. It's got 50 questions, and it is similarly divided across 4 levels. Level 1 tests your basic factual recall, which makes up 30% of the exam. Level 2 tests your deeper understanding of the content, which makes up 40% of the exam. Level 3 tests your application of the knowledge, which makes up 20% of the exam. And then level 4, which are your hardest exam type questions, which are called the more complex analysis questions, which makes up 10% of the exam. It's important to note that the questions are randomly selected from a large bank of questions, so no two people will get the exact same question. However, the level of difficulty will remain the same. Preparation tips. Preparing for the RE5 exams might seem daunting, but don't worry. I've got some tips that will make it easier. Tip number 1. Start early. These exams cover a lot of ground, and you'll need time to absorb all the material. The recommendation is to start at least 1.5 months before your exam. Remember, cramming at the last minute won't help you in a multiple choice exam, where comprehension and application of the law are key. Tip number 2. Use qualifying criteria. The preparation guide provides qualifying criteria, which are essentially the main topics and skills you'll be tested on. These criteria are like a roadmap to your study. For example, if the criteria cover how to handle client complaints, study that in detail. Don't skip anything. Even if you think it's not relevant to your role, you'll need to know it. Tip number 3. Always make sure that you use updated study material. I'll leave a link in the video description below to our RE5 study material. Tip number 4, make sure that you use mock exams. Gain access to mock exams, as these will help you get used to the exam format and timing of the actual exam. Practice makes perfect, especially when it comes to understanding how the questions are phrased. Exam day. When exam day comes, here's what you should expect and some final tips to help you succeed. Arrive early. Make sure you arrive at the venue with enough time to check in. You'll need a valid photo ID like your passport, driver's license, or ID card. Read the questions carefully. The exam includes different types of questions, like direct questions where you choose correct answer, incomplete sentences where you complete the sentence with the right option, negative questions. These ask for the option that is not correct, so read carefully, and then sequencing and Roman numeral questions. These are more complex and require you to choose multiple correct options or order events logically. Time management. Don't spend too much time on any one question. Allocate about 1 to 2 minutes per question, depending on its complexity. If you are unsure about an answer, move on and come back to it later. Bubble sheet tips. With this exam, you'll be completing your answers on a bubble sheet, so be careful. Missing one row can throw off all of your answers. Some candidates find it helpful to use a ruler to keep track of their place on the answer sheet. Common mistakes and how to avoid them. Let's go over some common mistakes candidates make and how you can avoid them. Number 1. Using your friend's study material. This can be dangerous, especially if your friend has written months or even years before you've decided to take the exam. Legislation gets updated very regularly, and for that reason, it's important that you use updated study material. Like I said earlier in the session, I've got the study material in the link below, so check it out. Number 2, rushing through the questions. It's easy to panic and rush through, but remember to read each question carefully. Negative questions and options like most, best, or least require extra attention. Overthinking. Don't second guess yourself too much. Many candidates fall into the trap of thinking every question is a trick. If you know the material, trust your instincts and go with the answer that fits. Post-exam and results. Once you've completed the exam, your results will typically be available online and you'll also get an email. For RE5, the pass mark is 66%. If you didn't pass on your first try, don't get discouraged. You can take the exam many times as needed, but now that you're in a position, but now that you know what to expect, you'll be in a better position next time. Final tips and motivation. To wrap things up, preparing for RE5 may seem overwhelming, but remember, it's entirely possible with the right approach. Start early, focus on the legislation, and break your study time into manageable chunks. Success in these exams is all about preparation, understanding, and confidence. These exams aren't just about passing, they're about making sure you have the skills and knowledge to be a trusted financial professional. So give yourself the time and space to fully prepare. And remember, you've got this.